And good evening and welcome to Newsmax Prime. I'm Miranda Kahn in tonight for J.D. Hayworth, who has a night off. Great to have you with us. Of prime interest tonight, the war of words turns nasty between Donald Trump and Democratic presumptive presidential nominee Hillary Clinton. After hearing Hillary attack him yesterday, Mr. Trump counterpunched with a series of powerful quips during a passionate speech earlier today.
I know these problems can all be fixed, but not by Hillary Clinton, only by me. The Hillary Clinton foreign policy has cost America thousands of lives and trillions of dollars. Maybe her motivation lies among the more than 1,000 foreign donations Hillary failed to disclose while at the State Department. Hillary Clinton wants to be president, but she doesn't have the temperament or, as Bernie Sanders said very strongly, the judgment to be president. Hillary Clinton may be the most corrupt person ever to seek the presidency of the United States.
Wow, most corrupt person. Now for this quick reminder, we will be taking your calls for the next hour at 1-877-NEWSMAX. Again, that number is 1-877-639-7629. Be sure to call in with a short question or comment, and we'll put you live on the air. Again, that number is 1-877-NEWSMAX. Now, for much more on this political brawl, we are pleased to be joined by the former Lieutenant Governor of New York, Betsy McCaughey. Betsy joins us via Skype tonight from Connecticut. Always a pleasure to have you here on Newsmax Prime. Betsy, we only played a small portion of what Trump had to say, but we had plenty of material to pull from. Donald Trump always says that he will not swing first, but when he does, he will hit back with a counterpunch twice as hard. Were you surprised at all by Trump's remarks?
Not at all. And in fact, I've looked at the data myself, and we have two candidates here, the builder and the blabber. If you look at their financial disclosure statements, Trump's 104 pages, he lists 185 profit-making ventures, apartment buildings, commercial buildings, golf courses, all very successful, and many other ventures owned by others, and he's hired as the manager because he knows how to do it. Hillary Clinton's financial disclosure statement, 11 pages, just a list of speeches for which she received fees and for which she will not even disclose what she said. So we have the builder versus the blabber. It's clear which one of those two can turn our nation back toward economic prosperity again.
Betsy, we heard of some pretty harsh counterpunches there. Things like Clinton has perfected the politics of personal profit and even theft. Clinton needs to go to prison to pay for the crimes that she's already committed against our country. Which one of those counterpunches do you think hits Hillary the hardest?
Well, the one that is most credible and most easily substantiated is that she has sold her government influence for cash. She has, as Secretary of State, hauled in millions of dollars for the Clinton Foundation in terms of donations from heads of state, foreign companies, foreign individuals, in return for obviously a quid pro quo of some sort. The new book, Clinton Cash, outlines all of that. It's extremely troubling. And even before she became Secretary of State, during her confirmation hearings before the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, she refused to say that she would not take that money while she was Secretary of State. So we know that she is selling her influence, and the United States simply cannot be put up for sale.
Betsy, I just want to get your opinion on this. This was kind of more of a traditional speaking style for Donald Trump. He did use a teleprompter. What did you think of his approach today? Is this moving in the right direction towards the general election?
I thought it was, although I have to say what's so appealing about Donald Trump is that he tells it like it is. If Americans wanted to hear from traditional politicians who have canned speeches, they wouldn't be voting for Donald Trump. They are rushing in droves to support him because he simply speaks from the heart. But he has a powerful case against Hillary Clinton.
We now want to go to Trigger, who is joining us from Detroit. Trigger watches Newsmax Prime quite a bit. We appreciate you calling in and joining the conversation. Trigger, what's your question or comment?
Well, I just got a comment on Hillary there, stating that anybody being watched by the FBI shouldn't be able to buy a firearm. I agree with that. So it makes sense anybody being watched by the FBI wouldn't be allowed to run for president.
Touche.
And I also think Trump should be attacking more on Bill Clinton and his escapades.
Now, you bring up a good point because a lot of people have been wondering if he's going to go after Bill Clinton again. Betsy, this hasn't worked very well for Donald in the past. Do you think that he'll go after Bill Clinton more in the coming months ahead?
He may do that, but the fact is he has so many issues to raise, specifically about Hillary, that he can keep Bill Clinton's foibles and failings in his back pocket.
All right, joining us also for the conversation, political analyst Dick Morris. He joins us via phone. Dick Morris, always a pleasure to have you here on Newsmax Prime. Let's talk strategy if we can. What do you think is the strategy behind such a blistering attack today from Donald Trump? Dick Morris, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Did you hear the question? I just want to make sure. Okay, we apparently were having some telephone issues. We'll try to reconnect, but Betsy, go ahead. Jump in.
Let me jump in on this. Most Americans are fundamentally concerned about the economy. And what Donald Trump will be able to do when he raised some of these issues today is to point to Hillary Clinton's absurd formula for governing the economy. She has a program called Fair Growth. It means more racial preferences, more gender preferences, more government interference in who's hired, how much they're paid, when they work overtime, when they get a bonus. Hillary Clinton envisions the federal government having a seat in every board discussion and looking over the shoulder of every business manager. And that is a recipe for further reductions in investment. We need more investment to create jobs in the United States.
Right. So he brought up his first 100 days if he is elected into office as the president of the United States. He brought up 8 specific points. Which of those points do you think will stand out the most to American voters?
Certainly his tax proposals are extremely important. We have to become competitive with the rest of the nation again. With the rest of the world again. And our very high corporate tax rates are making us uncompetitive.
All right, I'm being told by my producer that we have reestablished a connection with Dick Morris, who joins us again via telephone. Dick, do we have you?
Yes, you got me. Sorry, it's not Skype.
Okay, no, we are too. We'd love to see you. We were talking about strategy. This was obviously a blistering attack by Donald Trump, hitting Hillary pretty hard today. If you can, tell us what was the strategy behind this type of attack?
Well, I think the key thing is that Hillary's scandals go back literally 40 years. Right. In fact, a little long, well, about 40 years. And much of the current electorate didn't know about them. They weren't of age then. Anybody under the age of 60 missed some of them, and anybody under the age of 40 missed most of them. And it's just a record that really needs to be brought to the public. There has been one scandal after another. Twice she's narrowly escaped indictment, both times by lying. She has been implicated in scandal after scandal. She took $1,000 and parlayed it into $100,000 in the futures market, and then hid it until after the statute of limitation lapsed, when nobody could prosecute her. She testified under oath that she was not the lawyer on a fraudulent land deal in Arkansas when she clearly was. She escaped indictment because the name of the deal was misstated by the prosecutor. Mm-hmm. She stole half of the White House china and gifts that were given while they were president. She has attempted to, she's basically turned the State Department into a RICO, a racketeering organization, where she does favors for countries and Bill passes the bag to the different countries. that pay bribes to her, thinly disguised as speaking fees for him that go into their joint checking account. And Trump really needs to enumerate all of these to underscore his point, which is she is the single most corrupt person ever to run for president of the United States.
Right. That was probably the strongest quote of the day. Well, this is June, Dick, and if the fighting is this bad now, what can we expect as we inch closer to November? Because we're still quite a ways away. 35 seconds for your response.
Bad. It's a question of good. Trump is exposing this woman before she can steal more from us. And his exposés are incredible. This woman would make Harding or Nixon, previous corrupt presidents, look like pikers. She used to want money in order to get power. Now she wants power in order to make money.
Dick Morris, thank you so much for joining us. Betsy McCaughey, last word to you. Overall, if you were sitting there advising, if you were advising Mr. Trump right now, what would you tell him should be his next move?
His next move would be, just as Dick said, to inform the American public, educate the younger voters as to Hillary's long history of corruption.
All right. Betsy McCaughey, Dick Morris, always a pleasure to have you on. We appreciate your patience for that connection. And as always, we want you to join the conversation by giving us a call at 1-877-NEWSMAX. Again, that's 1-877-639-7629. When we return, Representative Scott Perry on that sit-in by the Dems on the House floor. All that, much more coming up. You're watching Newsmax Prime. We'll be right back.